Hytale is officially back from the dead, and if I'm being honest, it wasn't on my 2025 bingo card. After 7 long years full of incredible hype, total silence, unexpected delays, and even a complete cancellation by Riot Games, the game that many of us thought would never see the light of day has a real early access date, which is going to be January 13th, 2026. Now, I know a lot of you follow me for 7 Days to Die content, and you might be wondering, Echo, why are we talking about Hytale? But here's the thing. This isn't just another Minecraft-style voxel game trying to float on nostalgia. Hytale promises a sandbox game with combat depth, progression systems, exploration and modding, and world-building tools, at least based on what we've seen thus far. I've played a ton of Minecraft and a ton of 7 Days to Die over the years, and this takes some elements from both, adds some special sauce, and a pinch of more forward-looking vision. So in this video, we're going to go over everything, the full 7-year development saga, what the game actually is, how the exploration mode and creative mode play, why its modding tools matter, and what early access will look like, and finally whether or not it's worth your time and money when early access launches on January 13th, 2026. Let's get into it. First, we need to rewind back to December of 2018. Hypixel Studios, yes, the same team behind the biggest Minecraft server in history, dropped the official announcement that they were creating a game called Hytale. The entire internet basically exploded. The reveal trailer gave us procedurally generated worlds, custom combat, adventure mode full of dungeons and bosses, creative modes with incredibly deep building tools and modding tools baked into the DNA of the game from day one. It didn't just look promising, it looked revolutionary for a voxel game. Tens of millions of views, massive coverage, and the community instantly crowned it the Minecraft killer. Expectations were sky high. Then in 2020, Riot Games stepped in and acquired Hypixel Studios. At the time, it looked like a massive win. More funding, more developers, more support, and the target was a 2021 launch. But then the delays started and kept coming. 2021 slipped, 2022 slipped, and then we learned that combat was getting reworked from the ground up, and then the RPG systems expanded. Hytale was simply becoming much bigger than originally planned. The team had decided to migrate the entire game to a brand new engine. Not update it, but completely rebuild it. And with that, the timeline suddenly changed to, we'll release it when it's ready, with no dates at all. At this point in time, I tried to remain optimistic. I can understand going with an engine rewrite for future compatibility and performance and all that, but overall fans were worried, and rightfully so. 7 years, no public build, no demo, and a complete engine rewrite? So it was no surprise that in June this year, Riot Games officially announced that they were shutting Hytale down and dissolving Hypixel Studios. The game was labeled too ambitious, too long-term, and they estimated it could take another 10 years at the rate things were going. It appeared that Hytale would become yet another case study of scope creep, overambition, and what happens when corporate timelines and creative visions collide. And then, out of nowhere, the plot twist of the decade. In late November this year, Simon Collins-Laflamme, one of the original Hypixel co-founders, personally repurchased the entire Hytale IP from Riot Games. He rebuilt the team, brought back original developers, and made a call that absolutely shocked the gaming community. He scrapped the engine rewrite, scrapped the overly ambitious direction, and rolled the project back to the original legacy engine, the one from the 2018 trailer. And somehow, that reset brought the project back to life. Now they're launching early access on January 13th, 2026, and that's close, really close. So, okay, all that drama aside, let's talk about the actual game. Hytale at its core is a voxel-based sandbox game with 2 modes, exploration and creative mode. Originally there were plans for an adventure mode, but Hytale is launching as an early access, so not everything from that original vision will be there on day one. It was actually more critical for them to get a version for us to play, so in the short term we'll get exploration mode, which allows us to jump in and stress test systems, while they can work on the adventure mode. It can be really tricky, honestly, to separate some of the original plans versus what we're going to be getting on January 13th, because we don't know what's carrying over from that Riot era. So I'll do my best to separate things out as we go forward, but let's jump into what we do know. Exploration mode is the survival experience. Based on official dev blogs, you're getting 4 procedurally generated zones: Emerald Grove, Howling Sands, Borea, and the Devastated Lands. Though the team hasn't confirmed which zones are available day one versus later updates, each zone has distinct biomes, unique creatures, and environmental storytelling. We're talking about rivers carved through the mountains, waterfalls into ancient caverns, hot springs, abandoned structures, The world generation looks really good. Combat is designed to be very dynamic for a voxel game with some RPG elements tossed in. From what the team is planning, you'll have access to unique attacks for different weapons, first and third person switching, basic character progression in regards to health, mana, and a few other stats. You're going to have ledge mantling / parkour, and utility items for quick access. We'll see how much of this is polished for day one, but with these skills you'll be able to explore the zones, battle enemies, gather resources, craft workstations, and build. All the standard stuff you'd expect kind of out of a survival game. But here's what's not there on day one, and this is critical. The adventure mode with narrative quests, handcrafted dungeons, and special boss battles is planned for future updates. The team is being very transparent about this. The launch is focused on exploration, combat systems, and the world gen. So the story-driven RPG content comes later. Think of it like 7 Days to Die early access journey, hopefully a shorter journey, where day one they gave us the survival mechanics and a world exploration. Quest NPCs and story elements came later in the alphas. So Hytale is following a similar and again hopefully shorter path. Now let's talk about the creative mode. This goes well beyond what you're used to in, say, Minecraft, with unlimited resources and mob spawning. The sneak peeks that have been shown have some really intuitive building tools that allow for copying and pasting of builds, the ability to modify existing terrain, and a lot of ways to manipulate without having to go, block by block. And as a builder type myself, I love tools like this that can accelerate my creative vision so that I can get out what's in my head into a prototype, so you can see your idea come to fruition. On top of this, we're going to have modding tools to work with as well on day one. The team has promised visual scripting systems and custom asset creation. The tool for asset modification looks really easy to use again. The intent is that no coding will be required for basic mods here. So for me, having built mods in several other games, the interface already looks way more intuitive than anything that I've worked with. Minecraft took years to get robust modding support, so I love the idea that Hytale is thinking about this up front. They're not only launching with it built in, but it's always been planned as part of the game itself. So that said, they are being, again, very upfront that the modding doesn't have all the hooks and capabilities that they wanted for day one, but it will grow along with the community feedback and support. So that covers gameplay. Now let's talk logistics. Hytale will launch early access on January 13th of next year on Windows. Linux and Mac support will be attempted later, but there's no promises at this point in time. Consoles and mobile are way down the road. You'll be able to pre-purchase starting December the 13th, and there's going to be 3 different levels. There's going to be a standard edition at $19.99, a supporter edition at $34.99, and a Cursebreaker Founders Pack at $69.99. Currently, we don't have any details in terms of the differences between the different versions here, but we're supposed to hear something from Simon this week, so I'll let everyone know as soon as I find out. If I had to speculate, I would guess that there's a number of in-game cosmetics that you'll get for the higher level versions, but ultimately I'm not anticipating there being any game-changing mechanics between them. Mostly I think these are going to be a way for those of us who are very excited about the game to be able to support the development. The team's small, it's only about 30 people, and they are self-funded. There's no corporate backing here. Early access means you're helping shape the game's development, but you're also dealing with bugs, missing features, and potential performance issues. So if you enjoy early access titles where you're part of the sausage making, providing feedback, being part of the community, you'll probably enjoy Hytale's early access. But if you want a fully fleshed out, finished, polished experience, you might want to wait for the 1.0 release. Let me wrap on why Hytale has huge potential for survival gaming. Hytale fills a niche almost no one is touching, fantasy survival with the freedom of a full voxel world. Valheim showed that there's a huge appetite for survival outside the zombie genre, but it had limited building options. What really gives Hytale long-term potential for me isn't just that it's got all this building stuff, it's the RPG elements and creature variety layered into the world. It's the different factions, unique mobs, magical abilities, and environmental storytelling, all adding variation that could keep the world feeling fresh in a way that Minecraft hasn't managed for me in years. And with the day one modding tools, creators will have the ability to push even further, adding new biomes, new bosses, new threats, new progression systems. Between the built-in RPG depth and the modding potential, Hytale worlds could stay engaging far longer than any traditional voxel run. But I've got my concerns also. Right now I don't see a real threat driving the survival loop. In terms of 7 Days to Die, the world constantly pushes you to adapt and evolve your base. Even a lighter version of that, escalating danger, environmental pressure, faction attacks would give Hytale's building more purpose. I don't need Horde Knights per se, just a reason to improve. Food is another question for me. It seems like it's more of a buff system than a survival requirement. Without hunger, weather, or environmental hazards, survival could feel shallow unless more systems show up later. But again, this is early access. What we're getting first is the foundation, exploration, combat building, and the full creative pipeline. The deeper RPG and adventure mode content comes later. Still, the combination of fantasy, survival, voxel building, and true modding power is rare. If Hytale sticks the landing, it could become a long-term home for players like me who love building and need a world that evolves with them. So what's my overall take? I'm excited, but I'm also skeptical after 7 years of delays. I really like the openness and humility from Simon about the state of the game and how they need the input of the community to make Hytale great. And maybe that's just a line, but it's better than other dev shops promising the world and then falling flat. For what it's worth, I'm rooting for Hytale to be awesome, and I'm going to pick up the Cursebreakers edition as a sign of support. I'm going to lean in and cover Hytale heavily leading up to the launch and during early access. I'm going to be doing beginner guides, base building tutorials, combat breakdowns, all the stuff I do for 7 days, but for Hytale. And don't worry, I'm not abandoning 7 Days to Die. That game built this channel, and I'll keep creating content for it, but I'm going to be spending a good amount of my time here in Hytale exploring and sharing. I look forward to seeing all of you out in Orbis. Take care all. Cheers. Hey folks, thanks for watching. I hope that gave you some insight into Hytale. Let me know if you're going to be picking it up and what you're most excited about. And also check out the videos over there. I'll be filling those up with Hytale videos as soon as I can get them out the door. Cheers all.